It is Wednesday, January 19th, and it is time for our noonday appointment. Time when we come away and remember who and whose we are. And so once again, I'm grateful that you're joining me here at UC Truth for Better Living. Check in as usual, say how you're doing. We're in Kingston, Jamaica. We're doing well. We're giving thanks. It's a sunny day, at least for the most part it is. It's good to see some of our usual friends checking in. Thank you so much for joining us. We've been enjoying the readings in our daily inspiration for better living this month that were authored by Nadia Sinclair, our licensed teacher here in Kingston, Jamaica. In this month of faith, the month when we activate, celebrate, and exercise our faith in all things. Faith represented by the disciple Peter. Faith represented by the color blue. Faith represented in our pineal gland as a place in our body. You know, like a muscle, for it to be fully functional, it has to be exercised and activated. And so this month we are focusing on faith. And today Nadia writes about possibilities. Everybody loves to hear about possibilities and the wonderful possibilities. What things are possible for them. In fact, at the start of the year, we tend to take time to think about what is possible for us for this new year that we're experiencing. And tonight at 6:30, we're having our Burning Bowl service. I would invite you to join us here and on YouTube at UC Truth Jamaica, where we're going to look back on 2021 and see what are those things, those attitudes, those thoughts, those feelings, those words, those actions, those reactions that did not serve us, those belief systems. And we're going to symbolically write them out and burn them as a means of releasing them from our experience and then creating room for this new year, 2022, where we're going to be writing our intentions in the form of a letter to God. And of course, not a God outside of your being, but our intentions, a God that is within you, that lives, moves, and breathes within you. And we're going to be keeping a copy of that letter for ourselves, where we can review it daily to remind ourselves of the course that we're on. But we're also going to be sharing a copy of it, a sealed copy addressed to ourselves with our church community, in which for the course of the year we'll continue to pray with our members as they work through experiencing these good things for 2022. About July, we mail them back to you so you can do an evaluation of where you are. So possibilities are not new to anyone. In fact, if you grew up in school, there's a song that we were always singing in school that they taught us that says, I am a promise, I am a possibility, I am a promise with a capital P, I'm a great big bundle of potentiality. And I'm learning to hear God's voice, and I'm trying to make the right choice. I am a promise to be all God wants me to be. So today we're knowing that this topic of possibility is blessing us, and that the words that we speak and that we share here are the direct inspirations from the Christ of our being. So once again, good afternoon, Beverly. Winsome, it's good to see you. Barbara Grant, it's good to see you. Blanche, good afternoon. Virus, Demoy, Dot, good afternoon. It's great to see you. Joyce Roberts, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us as we're talking about possibilities. What is so interesting for me about possibilities is that there's a direct link with the whole concept of what is possible to your faith. Because possibilities are not limited to our five senses. They are not limited to what we see and smell and touch and taste and hear. But possibilities are based on the realm of divine ideas. Meaning, there's a song that says, all things are possible. All things are possible to him who believes. So this is really a lesson in faith. Possibilities are really a lesson in faith. And all of us all of us have faith. And today I'm going to talk about and give you examples of why it is that I know that you have faith and how you exercise faith every single day without even being conscious that you're exercising faith. And that the requirement, therefore, is that you become conscious of how you're exercising this faith and exercise it more. Similar to how if you go to the gym, on a daily basis, you exercise different muscles. And the more you exercise the muscle, is the more the muscle develops, the strength in the muscle develops, and the muscle is able to take on greater weight or do more things, or your body becomes stronger, becomes more defined. In the same way, our faith is like a muscle that we have to exercise and activate daily. And so we're talking about that today. And there's a song by Martha Menuza that says, your latter will be greater than your past. That you'll be blessed more than you could ask. And despite that, all that has been done, the best is yet to come. Possibility again? And so your latter will be greater than the rest. Let's hear the tune.
And you will be blessed more than you could ask. Despite all that has been done, your best is yet to come, and your latter will be greater. Your latter will be greater. Your latter will be greater than your past. Oh, your latter will be greater than your past. Oh, when you will be blessed. You will be blessed more than you could ask. More than you could ask. Despite all that has been done. Oh, the best is yet to come. And your latter will be greater. Your latter will be greater. Your latter will be greater. Your latter will be greater than your past. All things are possible. All things are possible. They're possible. They're possible. Possible. All things are possible. Oh, they're possible. Possible. Yes, they're possible. Possible. And your latter will be greater. 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 Your latter will be greater than. Your latter will be greater than. Your latter will be greater than your past.
Wow, what an affirmation. And I'm accepting it for myself, and I'm encouraging you to accept that for yourself. Your 2022 will be greater than any year that has passed. Are you willing to accept that as a declaration for yourself? Are you willing to see that in every single area of your experience? That area that seems not to be going the way you want it to go, can you declare? Maybe you need to go and find this Martha Menuza song and just begin to remind yourself the promises that, the possibilities that your latter will be greater than the past. All things are possible. all things. It never said some things. It never said the things that you think are possible. It said all things are possible. And to the degree that you can believe and accept that is the degree that you can experience it. So let's hear what Nadia is saying about possibilities. And she says, when was the last time you challenged your mind or body with a different way of doing things? As it is with your muscles, in order to maximize your body's potential and to break through seeming plateaus, you must change the intensity and focus of your exercise and daily routines frequently. Why not do the same for your daily routines and spiritual practices? If you've hit what you feel is a proverbial glass ceiling in your progress, it's time to switch things up a bit. Open your mind to different possibilities. Learn something new, such as a foreign language, learn a new song, learn a new dance or a fitness routine. Read a new self-help book, watch life-affirming programs, attend motivational seminars, or begin journaling. Enrolling a spiritual class of truth principles. Call a friend just to say hello. Switch up your basic routine and watch new growth begin. Give thanks for the new possibilities revealed to you. Embrace them. Move on. So, a lot of really, really great gems are placed in this writing, and I want to break them down one at a time. And the first question was asked is, when was the last time that you challenged your mind or body with a different way of doing things? When was the last time that you switched things up? In other words, we are in routines. A lot of us are in routines. There's a way we get up, there's a way we go through the day, where we go to work, the way we go home, and it's a routine. And the routines that we have engaged in have brought us to where we are and are the result of why our life looks the way it looks now. So if it is that our 2022 will look differently, it means the routine then has to be different, right? If it is that our body needs to look different for 2022, our eating routine, our health routine must look different. And how we think about ourselves and our body must also be different. If it is that we need to experience more peace in our lives, if it is that we want a greater connection with the Christ of our being and we want to increase our spiritual selves, then our spiritual routine has to be different. We have to then spend more time in daily quiet contemplation, meditation, so that we can connect and listen to what the still small voice inside of us is directing us to do. If it is that we want to experience greater financial resources and experiences and wealth, even in terms of money or things, then our routine around that must be different. How we manage money must be different. How we think about money must be different. How we accept and give money must be different. We have to work within the law. So, for example, for this year, I decided I wanted to be more intentional and level up my giving, my financial giving, my tithing. And that was a deliberate decision that I made to change the routine. And because I've changed the routine, there's no way I can change the routine and experience the same thing. It's just like if I'm driving a car and I'm going down one particular road as my regular routine and I decide to change my route and go another route to get to the place, there's no way I can see the same thing because it's a different route. The same is true with your life, with the possibilities that exist. And Nadia is suggesting to us that the same is true for our spiritual practices. Now, a lot of us will say, a lot of people I know, especially young people, they say to me, you know, sir, I'm spiritual. I'm not, you know, associated with any particular church or don't go to church, but I'm spiritual. And that's fine. There's no judgment either way. And the question becomes, are you in a place that you want to up your spiritual practices? And up your spiritual practices just means spending more time listening to where God is guiding you, listening to what God is leading you to do, exercising your faith, that muscle that you have that you need to exercise to experience more. Your faith muscle is what everything else is built on. You experience nothing else. That's why Peter was the solid rock, we are told in the Bible, on which the church was built. Faith is that solid foundation on which everything else must be built. If there is no faith, there's no firm foundation for anything you want to demonstrate. You could have millions of dollars in the bank, any currency. If it is that your faith in whatever you are going to do, in what you're going to be, in what you're going to have, in your business, in your dream, in your job, in your career, in your health, if your faith is wavering, it does not matter the amount of money that you have. And that is why it's important, she says, to switch things up a bit and open your mind to different possibilities. We are told that we rarely ever use much of our brain power and our brain faculties. In fact, we use less than 50%, and maybe even less than that. And so the possibility exists that we can use it in another way. So you're going to say to me, Conrad, I don't go to church, I don't have faith, or maybe I have faith. How do I exercise my faith muscles? What are the examples that I have of how to exercise my faith muscles and how to get things going? Now we have several examples of that. We've been given several examples in the Bible of how to exercise our faith muscles every single day. We says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. That's what we are told, right? So faith is that faculty, that assurance, that quiet, deeper, inner knowing and belief that anchors you, that everything is taken care of. Faith is the going to bed in the nights and waking up in the morning, not even worrying about how you're going to breathe. Because none of us go to bed in the night unless we are experiencing specific physical illnesses, and then we've taken our mindset somewhere else. But usually, when we go to bed in the night, we just automatically know and assume that when we get up, there'll be air available for us to breathe. That's faith. That's a demonstration of faith. That's a demonstration of trust in something. We have faith that when we get up, our hands are going to be where our hands are supposed to be, and our eyes are going to work, and our feet are going to work. All of that is faith. So it's not that we don't have faith, but the bigger our dream, the bigger our goal, the bigger our intentions, the bigger our awareness of things, is the stronger the faith that is required to bring it to manifestation. And so what are you doing about your faith for all the possibilities that you want to experience to happen? How are you looking at, okay, this is what is happening in my life now. So, compartmentalize it. And that's what tonight at the Burning Bowl Experience is going to invite you to do. Take a look at your life now. If you could make a list of 2 sets of things, what are the things that are not working for me? And we're not talking about writing anybody's names. Things that are not working for me. What are the feelings that are not working for me? What are the thoughts that are not working for me? What are the experiences? And you list those. And then you begin to think of what are the possibilities. What is possible? Most of us don't spend time in the possibilities. What is possible? We spend time on what is not working. And we belabor that, and we go over and over and over and over and over that. But you only identify what is not working, so you're able to deny those things, to be able to release them from your experience, and see that a new thing is being done, that God wants to do a new thing through you and as you. And that is why she's given us several examples of what you can do. Read a self-help book. When is the last time you picked up something and read it? And even with any kind of book, it can be 1 paragraph a day that you read from the book. 1 paragraph, if you don't like reading, 1 paragraph. Because that 1 paragraph that you read could be loaded with a wonderful message for you. One paragraph a day that you could read that could make a difference in your life. It may be the daily inspiration that you get and you say, all right, for the next 40 days, for the next month, I'm going to make it my practice to get a daily inspiration for better living from ufbl.org or from my church ministry, and I'm going to read that every morning at 7. That is something different because you're changing up the routine if it's not something that you've done. Maybe it is your word, the word I gave you a couple of weeks ago that we said we're hanging on to. My word of success, that you say every single day I'm going to find something that is successful in my life to write about. And the success may just be, I got up this morning and I can open my eyes. And I'm so grateful. That is success. Because some people did not get up and they weren't able to open their eyes. So the fact that you got up is success. The fact that you're able to open your eyes is success. Even if the other thing don't happen, the dream or the goal or the money or whatever those things don't happen, there is success happening. But when what you begin to look for, you begin to find. Because your attention is now shifted from what is not happening to what is happening. And so you can get more of that because that's where your attention is. Watch life-affirming programs. Maybe you say for the month of January, February, whatever it is, I'm not going to watch any more horror movies and scare myself to sleep in the nights. Or I'm going to find something that inspires me, maybe a song. Maybe I'm going to enroll in a spiritual truth class. We have our series of classes that are starting in a few weeks. In fact, I'm doing a session after Burning Bowl talking about how you move things from the letter to manifestation. And there are other classes. There's the basic truth principles about how learning the basic principles of living the kind of life that you want. There's Bible. There are a whole series of offerings that we're having. And maybe it is you enrolling a class. Even if you've done it already, it is still something different to hear it from a different perspective and to react with a different consciousness. The consciousness of different persons. You learn something new. So it's about what are you willing to do differently. I was talking with a friend of mine yesterday, and he was saying to me he wants to be an artist, right? He wants to perform music and he wants to be an international artist. But he doesn't, he's very private, for want of a better word, and he doesn't, he's not so much into the public kind of excitement, etc., etc. And as he was talking, it occurred to me that there's a slight disconnect with that. Because there's a saying in Jamaica that says the higher the monkey climb, the more I'm exposed. Which means that he's wanting to be an international artist. By virtue of wanting to be an artist, you're already exposing yourself to hundreds and thousands of persons. You're up for scrutiny because you're now a public figure. So your life is no longer private. Not that everybody needs to be in your every business, but people are going to start searching, digging, looking, talking, blah, 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 blah. If you are not willing and ready to deal with that kind of responsibility in the artist world, then you realize that there's a disconnect, and why it is that being an artist may not be what is showing up for you now, because you're not ready to accept the responsibilities that come with the possibility. So the possibility can't be made real because there are some responsibilities. There is a you that you'll have to become to be able to live this new life. People are going to be up in your business. Think of the people we know, all the artists, all the famous people. You want to know who they're dating, who they're not dating, what money they have, where they live, who's this and that, and it becomes gossip. True, false, or not. And that is a kind of responsibility that you will have to decide if you want to be an artist. Am I ready for that kind of scrutiny or responsibility? And if you say you're ready, then you may be able to have it. Now, think about your dream. It may not be an artist, it may be whatever it is. What aspects of that dream am I not willing to deal with or ready to deal with now? So I may want a car, but I don't want to buy the gas. I don't want to pay the insurance, and I don't want to fix the tires. disconnect. You have to be able to accept all the responsibilities that come with owning the car. It doesn't mean that a way can't be made for all those things to be taken care of. But when you're mentally ready to accept the full responsibilities of it, the full possibility of it, then it becomes easier and clearer for you. You have to be able to give thanks, nowadays says, for the new possibilities, embrace them. So even as we go into January with this gift of faith, we have to ask ourselves the question, what are my daily routines, and are those in alignment with the faith that I am wanting to experience? Is the faith that I have now, that I am demonstrating, is it strong enough to stabilize this big goal and this big dream that I want? And if it's not, we have to start working that muscle, activating that muscle. We have to believe a little bit more. We have to believe a little bit more. We have to spend some time believing a little bit more and releasing some of the doubts and the fears and the guilt and whatever. We can't just think that things just happen. Nothing just happens. Everything happens just. That's why we hear in 1 Corinthians 14:10 it says, but all things must be done properly and in an orderly manner. It simply means first things first. Seek ye first the kingdom, Matthew tells us. Anchor your faith. First disciple that was called was faith. There's a reason he was the first disciple called. Everything else is built on faith. Unless it's built on a solid foundation, it's not going anywhere. You know the story of the 3 little pigs. One built a house on the rock, one built on the sand and straws, and that nothing lasts except what is built on a firm foundation. What is the firm foundation? Faith is a firm foundation. And that is why your possibilities are endless if it is that you activate your faith. That's why it's so important. Kathleen says, I have to level up and to deal with the possibilities that are calling me. Yes. Garfield Bolt says, all blessings come with a burden. All blessings, I would say, come with a responsibility. They do. They do. I remember before Ashe had its own space, we were sharing space at Edaman, and I've told the story so many times. And it dawned on me one day that I was comfortable as the leader with using the space at the Edaman College. You know why? When the light bill had to be paid, I didn't have to think about it. When the water bill had to be paid, it wasn't my business. When the floor had to be fixed, not my business. When the water had to be paid, not my business. Then I asked myself, but Conroy, this not your business that you don't want to take on, which of it is more costly to you? That or not being able to rehearse when you want to rehearse because you have to wait on a space from somebody else because it's not your place, you know, you're kind of second in line. And when I decided in my mind that it was more important for me for us to have our own, and I was willing to accept the responsibilities that came with having our own, whatever they were, then we were directed to a place that we now occupy. But that was a aha moment for me. Possibilities exist. They always do. They're always calling you. They're always calling me. The question is, are you willing to clear the way and do the necessary preparation, like building a house? You excavate the ground and you lay a foundation. Everything, you lay a foundation. And once you lay the solid foundation, and depending on how high you want the building to go, if it's a one-story building, you lay a particular foundation. If you want a two-story building, you have to lay a different foundation from if you wanted a one-story building. And in fact, if you initially wanted a one-story building and you lay the foundation and then later on you decide to upgrade, you have to add additional reinforcement and columns to get to the two-story. Same for three-story, same for four-story, same for your dream. The bigger the possibility, the bigger the dream, the bigger the foundation you have to lay. So some of us have big dreams, but little faith, little foundation, and we're willing to do little work to get to it. And that's the disconnect. That's why the thing where you want not happen yet and not come yet. It's not because nobody wicked. Your boss not wicked, your mother not wicked, your partner not wicked, your this not wicked, because you have not prepared yourself enough and done what it takes and prepared that faith foundation for it. You got to believe. You got to believe for it. Regardless of what they tell you, you got to believe, because there are possibilities everywhere. Come on.
They say this mountain can't be moved. They say these chains will never break. But they don't know you like we do. There is power in your name. We've heard that there is no way through. We've heard the tide will never change. They haven't seen what you can do. There is power in your name. So much power in your name. Move the immovable, break the unbreakable. God, we believe. God, we believe for it. From the impossible, we'll see a miracle. God, we believe. God, we believe for it. Oh, we know that hope is never lost, for there is still an empty grave. God, we believe no matter what, there is power in your name. Oh, so much power. Move the immovable, break the unbreakable. God, we believe. God, we believe for from the impossible, we'll see a miracle. God, we believe. God, we believe for it. You are the way where there seems to be no way. We trust in you, God. You have the final say. You are the way. You are the way when there seems to be no way. We trust in you, God. You have the final. You are the way. You are the way when there seems to be no way. We trust in you. We trust in you, God. You have the final. Move the immovable, break the unbreakable. God, we believe. God, we believe for it. From the impossible, we'll see a miracle. God, we believe. God, we believe for it. God, we believe. God, we believe for it. God, we believe. God, we believe for it.
And so we remain in this consciousness of faith. And as we go forth on our journey today, wherever we're going, as we prepare for our Burning Bowl experience this evening at 6:30, we reaffirm our commitment to removing from our experience all that does not serve us and that is unlike that which God has intended for us, that happy, healthy, and prosperous life. We become willing we become willing channels to release what no longer serves us, as good as it may seem, and open ourselves to possibilities. The possibilities that are knocking at our door, knocking at our consciousness. We turn our attention now to that which is possible. And we use our gift of imagination to shape and mold all the ideas while we anchor them in the faith that all things are possible with God. We trust and we relax, we let go, and we see 2022 as the year when big dreams come true. All our big dreams come true. We're willing to do what it takes. We're willing to accept the responsibilities of them, because we know we're always operating within the presence and power of God, and all that we need is already here. The light of God is leading our way, is illuminating everything around us so that we can see clearly the path we are to take. The love of God is enfolding us and drawing to us every good thing that we need, every person, every equipment, every resource is being drawn to us now. The power of God is protecting us as we move through our day, as we move towards our goal, as we accomplish all these great things. And the presence of God is watching over us. We never ever operate outside of the presence and power of God, because there's no spot where God is not. Wherever we are, God is. And because God is there, we know all is well. Regardless of what is showing up, all is well. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, that this is so. We relax, we rest, we trust, and accept that it is so, and so it is. I look forward to seeing each of you at 6:30 tonight for our Burning Bowl experience, and I invite you to continue to join us for our noonday every day at 12 o'clock, and on Sunday for our worship celebration at 10:30. As usual, share this wonderful message with somebody. Invite somebody tonight to Burning Bowl. Invite one of your friends, invite your co-workers, invite your family. Because remember, when all of us, where 2 or 3 are gathered, there I am in the midst. When you have people, especially people you're working with, who are all on the same page, you move quicker, you get quicker towards your goal and your dream. So invite somebody, share the message, and continue to be blessed. Thank you so much.